Hello and very welcome everyone to this session of the history session. Today we are going to discuss some of the previous year questions of ancient history, and this is the part 6 of this session. And particularly we are going to discuss some of the questions that are relevant to those topics, and we will also discuss that what kind of question will come into your exams that are coming in further. And apart from that, we will also discuss the explanation and about the things that are relevant for your knowledge. So let's start our session and let's see what are the things we can learn from this particular topic. So before we start, these are the topics I got covered for you. So I got Mauryan Empire, post-Mauryan period, Gupta and post-Gupta Empire. And at last, I will summarize all the things that what we have learned so far in this session. Before we start, the images used in our slide deck are for educational purpose only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sati@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So first question that we have with us today is regarding that Emperor Ashok engraved the order on how many stone pillars and stone planks and established them at the principal places of his kingdom so that the people could act accordingly. So you have your options 16, 14, 8 or 10. So just take your time and try to figure out the answer. And I hope you got this one right. The answer of this question is B, 14. So Emperor Ashok got 14 inscriptions engraved so that people could conduct accordingly. So remember that Ashok was the ruler of Mauryan Empire and he was the pioneer in introducing this system into the uh, Indian Empire, that particularly the things are being engraved on the inscriptions on pillars and on stones. And he was influenced for doing this work from the Persian king. And apart from that, particularly James Prinsep was the first one who deciphered these inscriptions. And total number of stone pillars and stone planks are 14. Which of the following was the capital of the Mauryan Empire? We have done this question so many times in last sessions. So just answer me this question. Just take your time. And I hope you got this one right. The answer is Patliputra. So the Mauryan Empire was founded by Chandragupta Maurya in 322 BC. He established the Mauryan Empire by defeating Dhananand, the ruler of Nanda dynasty. The capital of the Mauryan Empire was Patliputra. During Bimbisar time, it was Rajgrah, but later on, the grandson of Bimbisar, that was Udayin, he transferred the capital to Patliputra. Today, Patliputra is known as Patna. And for a very long time in the ancient history, Patliputra remained the capital of the Magad Empire. So remember, the capital of the Mauryan Empire was Patliputra. Another question from the Mauryas. So Emperor Ashok, in the 12th year of his reign, appointed a special officer who surveyed the land and maintained land records. These officers were called. So options are Amatya, Collector, Razuk, or Chalukya. So just you have some time. So think about it. And yes, your answer is right. The answer is Razuk. So the great Emperor Ashok appointed a special officer in the 12th year of his reign who surveyed the land and maintained land records and maintained law and justice. These officers were called Razuk. So Razuk were the one who particularly became the particular people or officers who surveyed the land and maintained land records for and during the 12th year of his reign of the Ashok. And if we talk about Ashok, so Ashok became the king in 269 BC, and in the 8th year of his reign, he fought the Kaling War. After which, he particularly converted or transformed his philosophy and he followed the Buddhism philosophy. And Razuk were the officers who surveyed the lands and maintained land records. The story of which king is the subject of drama Mudra Mudra Rakshas. So options are Jaichand, Chandragupta II, Chandra Pede, Chandragupta Maurya. So you have your time. Just answer me the question. And I hope you got this one right. The answer is Chandragupta Maurya. So Mudra Rakshasa was composed by Vishak Dutt. Remember the name? This book was created by Vishak Dutt. This book throws light on modern history, mainly the life of Chandragupta Maurya. In this literary, Chandragupta Maurya has been called Vrishal and Kulheen. So you can take out 2 3 points from this question. First is that Mudra Rakshas was a book that is associated with which king? So that was Chandragupta Maurya. It was written by Vishak Dutt. Another thing that you can take out from this question is under this book, Chandragupta Maurya has been called by which name? So he has been called Vrishal or Kulheen. Remember, Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Mauryan Empire in 322 BC. His prime minister was Chanakya and his teacher also. Which dynasty ended the Mauryan dynasty? So options are Shung, Gupta, Shishunag, and Chola. So just you tell me the answer, then I will tell you the story. And I hope you got this one right. The answer is Shung. So Brihadrat, the last ruler of the Mauryan dynasty, was killed by its commander Pushyamitra Sung in 185 BC, and he founded the Sung dynasty in Magad. This dynasty ruled northern India from around 184 BC to 75 BC. It had lived till 109 years. Pushyamitra Sung was the first ruler of this dynasty. So do remember that Shung was the particular empire that overthrown Mauryan Empire, and Pushyamitra Sung was the general of Brihatrat. He killed the last ruler of Mauryan dynasty and established the new empire that was known as Shung Empire. And Shung Empire was basically established by Pushyamitra Sunga. Later on, after Shung dynasty, there came the Kanva and there came the Satvahan dynasty. That is also known as the post-Mauryan empires. Who was the last emperor of the Mauryan dynasty? So I just gave you the answer. I hope you heard that and try to answer me this question. Options are Chandragupta, Ashok, Brihadrat, or Shata Dhanvan. So take your time and answer the question. And again, I think your answer was right. The answer is Brihadrat. So Brihadrat, if we talk about the last ruler of the Mauryan dynasty, was killed by its commander Pushyamitra Sung, and he founded the Shung dynasty in Magad. This dynasty ruled northern India from around 184 BC to 75 BC. It had lived till 109 years. Pushyamitra Sung was the first ruler of this dynasty. And if you know about the Patanjali, Rishi Patanjali was in the court of Pushyamitra Sung or the Shung Empire. So remember their name. So the last ruler of the Mauryan dynasty was Brihadrat. Which statement from the given option is not correct? Options are Buddhist scriptures were written in Pali, birthplace of Gautam Buddha is in Nepal, Upgupta influenced Ashok to embrace Buddhism, Charak was the personal physician of Gautam Buddha. I don't think that this question would anywhere worry you, as this question is quite the easiest question that I've ever heard. So try to answer the question. And yes, you are right. So the answer is Charak was the personal physician of Gautam Buddha. So this is wrong statement here. Charak was not the personal physician of Gautam Buddha, and the royal physician of the Kushan kingdom. He was one of the physician in the Kushan Empire, whose famous king was Kanishk. The Charak Samhita, composed by him, is a famous Ayurvedic text, whereas Buddhist scriptures were written in Pali language. So remember the name Charak. And if someday some question comes like Dhanvantri was in the court of, he was in the court of Chandragupta II from Gupta dynasty. Okay. Now let's move to the other question. Another question is very important one. Ban Bhatt was the court poet of which king? Options are Chandragupta, Harshvardhan, Ashok, or Samudragupta. This is the most important question that you will see, and try to answer. This is a simple one. And I hope you got this one right. The answer of this question is Harshvardhan. So Banbhat was the 7th century Sanskrit prose writer and court poet of King Harshvardhan. Harsh Charitra is the biography of Indian Emperor Harsh by Banbhat. Banbhat was the court poet of Harshvardhan, and he wrote two very famous important books. One is uh, Harsh Charitra and the other one is Kadambari. If we talk about Harshvardhan, he himself wrote three books: Ratnavali, Priyadarshika, and Naganan. But if you are thinking about Buddha Charitra, so Buddha Charitra is different book, and it was not written by Banbhat. It was written by Ashwaghosh, and he was in the court of Kanishk. So remember, Banbhat was in the court of Harshvardhan, the last ruler of the Vardhan dynasty. His capital was Kannauj. Kanishk was related to which dynasty? And this question is so important that it has been asked in two different shifts. You can see. So options are Chol, Pallava, Kushan, or Maurya. So take your time. And I hope you got this one right as well. The answer is Kushan. So Kanishk was a very famous, most important and powerful ruler of Kushan dynasty. In 78 AD, he ascended the throne and launched Samvat called Sak Samvat, which is used by the government of India. 78 AD is also considered to be the beginning of the Sak era. During its reign, the Fourth Buddhist Association at Kundalwan, under the chairmanship of the Buddhist scholar Vasumitra, was held. Kanishk died in 101 AD. He was a follower of Mahayan sect. The last ruler of Kushan dynasty was Vasudev. So remember, Kanishk was the very famous ruler, and these are some of the specific things that he had done. And just to add to this, he was also the ruler who controls the Silk Route. And apart from that, he was the one under whose reign Sak Samvat was started, that is famously known as the Hindu calendar. And apart from that, if we talk about Kanishk, so he also started the Gandhar School of Art and Mathura School of Art. So these are the things that are related to Kanishk. Sak era was started from which year? Options are 58 BC, 78 BC, 58 AD, or 78 AD. So take your time. And I hope you got the right answer. The answer is 78 AD. So Kanishk was the most powerful ruler of Kushan dynasty. In the 78 AD, he ascended the throne, launched a Samvat called Sak Samvat, which is used by the government of India. 78 AD is also considered to be the beginning of Sak era. During its reign, the Fourth Buddhist Association at Kundalwan, under the chairmanship of Buddhist scholar Vasumitra, was held. Kanishk died in 101 AD. He was the follower of Mahayan sect. The last ruler of Kushan dynasty was Vasudev. So, do you remember the name? Sak era was started from which year? It was started from 78 AD. If someone asks you about Vikram era or Vikram Samvat, so that is started from 57 BC. Remember that as well. The most famous of the Kushan king was who was the third ruler in Kushan dynasty. And options are Krita Varma, Krishna Devarai, Kautilya, or Kanishk. So we just did some questions regarding that. So I hope you don't need time, but take your time and answer. And you got the right answer, guys. The answer of this question is Kanishk. So the most famous ruler of the Kushan was Kanishk, 78 AD to 101 AD. The third ruler of the Kushan dynasty. Its capital was Purushpur. So basically, he has two capital. One was Purushpur, and the other one is Mathura. In today's world, Purushpur is particularly known as Peshawar, that is in Pakistan. In the beginning of Dash century, the Kushans established their authority over northwest border of India. Options are third, fourth, first, or second. So I hope this question will not disturb you and answer the question perfectly. It is a quite simple one. So the first century, the Kushan established their authority over the northwest border of India. In the beginning of the first century BC, the Kushans established their authority on the northwest border of India. The founder of Kushan dynasty was Kuzul Kadphiz, who belonged to the Chinese community. So they were from Chinese tribe, and they particularly created the Indo-Chinese tribal areas there, and they were famously known as Kushan. The third ruler was most famous, that was Kanishk. Another ruler that was famous from Kushan was Vim Kadphiz, who introduced the gold coins, particularly at large number in India. Hathi Gumpa inscription from Udaygiri in Odisha was written by Dash, the king of Kaling. So options are Kharavel, Mahendra, Bimbisar, or Ashok. Just try to answer this one. And I hope you got this one right. The answer is Kharavel. So in Odisha, the inscription found in the hill cave called Udaygiri is famous for Hathi Gumpa inscription. It is called dateless inscription. It was engraved by Kaling Raj Kharavel. The article is in Prakrit language. Prakrit is a language associated with Jainism and has great importance in ancient Indian history. So remember, Kharavel was the king who has particularly is associated with the Hathi Gumpa inscription. And if we talk about another inscription that is particularly founded by the Ashoka, word number of 14 inscriptions were founded. Name the person who had a major influence in the field of algebra in India. I don't think that this question will any kind of disturb you. So answer me the question. So options are Charak, Brahmgupta, Brahamihir, or Aryabhat. So take your time on, guys. And yes, the answer is Aryabhat. So Aryabhat was the first of the major mathematician, astronomer from the classical age of Indian mathematician and Indian astronomy. His contribution in mathematics was place value system and zero approximation of pi, trigonometry, in determine equations. So the name was Aryabhat. And if we talk about Aryabhat, Aryabhat was in the court of Chandragupta II, and he was also the person who particularly gave the who was the first person who introduced us to the heliocentric theory, and way before Copernicus. So remember the name Aryabhat. Who was the court poet of King Harshvardhan? So we did this question in this session earlier. So try to answer this one. Just take your time, guys. And yes, your answer is right. The answer of this question is Banbhat. So Banbhat was a court poet of Harshvardhan. He wrote book Harsh Charitra as well as Kadambari. Remember that, which depicts about the rule of Harsh. When Zhang visited India during Harsh's reign in 7th century, Harsh is considered to be the writer of 3 Sanskrit books, Ratnavali, Priyadarshika, and Naganand. Remember, Harshvardhan did not write Harsh Charitra. Harsh Charitra was written by Banbhat. This question may confuse you in your exams, so remember that. Which of the following is one of the 9 gems of Chandragupta II? Options are Brahamihir, Moglana, Vishagdat, or Brahmgupta. So take your time. And yes, the answer of this question is Brahamihir. So Chandragupta II, also known as Vikramaditya, he ruled from 375 to 415 AD. Period is known of the Gupta Empire is called the Golden Age of India, because particularly in every field during the reign of Chandragupta II, in every field the particular people, they are making the remarks and they are making history, and that is why this particular period of Chandragupta II was known as Golden Age of ancient history. In the Sanchi inscription, he has been called Devraj. Navratans resided in Chandragupta's second court, among whom were Kalidas, Brahamihir, Dhanvantri, घाट करपार, शंकु, अमर सिम्हा, वेताल भट्ट, शमपंका, Vararuchi. So these are some of the famous nine gems who resided in the court of Chandragupta II. Kalidas, also known as the Shakespeare of India. During whose reign the Chinese traveler Huenzang came to India? This is the most easiest question that you will get. So try to answer this one. And I hope you got this one right. Very simple. The answer is Harshvardhan. So Huenzang was a Chinese Buddhist monk who traveled overland from China to India during the reign of King Harshvardhan to obtain the knowledge of Buddhist scriptures. He wrote a detailed description of India during the reign of Harsh in his book See Yuki. And if you are wondering that who was Fayan, so Fayan who came in the court of Chandragupta II. Who is known as the Napoleon of India? So options are Skandgupt, Samundragupt, Chandragupt, or Kumargupt. So take your time and answer this question. And this is also simple one. The answer is Samundragupt. Samundragupt 335 to 375 AD was the son of Chandragupta first. He was a great warrior and skilled general of Gupta dynasty. He was also known as the uh, Lichavi Duhitra, and apart from that, he was also known as Kaviraj. And due to the victories of Samundragupta, historian Vincent Smith, in his book Early History of India, called Samundragupta the Napoleon of India. He has been compared with the Napoleon. Napoleon, as we know, is the famous ruler or dictator of France. After the French Revolution, he controlled the particular administration and the power of France. So that was Napoleon. And particularly Napoleon, Samundragupta is compared with Napoleon because Samundragupta has particularly fought a lot of battles and won a lot of battles. About these battles, we come to know from the pillar that is called Allahabad Pillar, and it was written by Harishen, and it is known as the Prayag Prashasti. So remember these things as well. Who among the following during the reign of Harshvardhan came to India? Options are Fayan, Albaruni, Itzing, Wenzang. So answer the question, guys. And the answer is Wenzang. We just discussed about this. So Wenzang was a Chinese Buddhist monk traveled overland from China to India during the reign of King Harshvardhan to obtain knowledge of Buddhist scriptures. Payan came to India during the reign of Chandragupta II. Al-Baruni came to India with Mahmud of Ghazni in 1017 AD. So do remember that Huenzang came to India and he came in the court of Harshvardhan and he wrote the book Si Yuki. In whose reign did the famous Chinese traveler Huenzang came to India? Again, the same question. So try to answer this one. Answer is right. Answer is Harshvardhan. Huenzang was a Chinese Buddhist monk traveled overland from China to India during the reign of King Harshvardhan to obtain knowledge of Buddhist scriptures. Payan came to India during the reign of Chandragupta II. Al-Baruni came to India with Mahmud of Ghazni in 1017. So Al-Baruni was a different scholar. He came to India with Mahmud of Ghazni, and particularly he wrote a book that is Kitabul Hind. And if we talk about Fayan, he came to India in Chandragupta's second reign. Who was the Chinese Buddhist monk who studied Buddhist scriptures in Nalanda and is famous for his 17-year-long journey in India from 627 to 643 AD? Options are Megasthenes, Alberoni, Wenzang, Fayan. I don't think the question is quite difficult as we have done a lot of questions similar. So try to answer. And the answer of this question is Wen Zhang. Wen Zhang was a Chinese Buddhist monk who traveled overland from China to India during the reign of King Harshvardhan to obtain knowledge of Buddhist scriptures. Fayan came to India during the reign of Chandragupta II. Al-Baruni came to India with Mahmud of Ghazni in 1017. So do remember that Huenzang was a Chinese Buddhist monk who traveled overland from China to India during the reign of King Harshvardhan. Which of these Chinese travelers came to Nalanda and lived as both student and teacher? Options are Fayan, Kublai Khan, Huenzang, Itzing. So take your time this time. And you got this one right, guys. The answer is Huenzang. So Chinese traveler Huenzang came to Nalanda during the Harshvardhan period and lived as both student as a teacher. So that was the name of Chinese traveler Huenzang. So Huenzang came to India and lived as both student and teacher. And he preached Buddhism in China. Name the daughter of one of the most important rulers in early Indian history, Chandragupta II. Options are Lopamudra, Rudrama Devi, Pravati Gupta, or Prabhavati Gupta. So take your time. This question is quite good one. And I hope you got this one right, guys. The answer of this question is Prabhavati Gupta. Chandragupta II, also known as Vikramaditya, was one of the most powerful emperor of the Gupta Empire in North India. His daughter Prabhavati Gupta was married to Rudra Sen II of the southern Vakataka kingdom, and particularly his capital was Ujjain. And later on, after the death of the Rudra Sen II, the rule or the area of our empire of this kingdom till Ujjain was under the control of Chandragupta II, as they have no other higher. So that is why we also know that Chandragupta II was the one who has two capitals. First one was Patliputra and the second one was Ujjain. Vikramaditya is another name of which famous Gupta ruler. Options are Kumargupta II, Chandragupta first, Chandragupta II, or Ramgupta. So try to answer this question, as we have already learned this question so many times. The answer is Chandragupta II. So Chandragupta II, also known as Vikramaditya, was one of the most famous emperor or powerful ruler of the Gupta Empire in North India. The daughter Prabhavati Gupta was married to Rudra Sen II of the southern Vakataka kingdom. So do remember the name Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II was also known as Vikramaditya. If we talk about who was known as Kaviraj, Napoleon of India, and these type of names, so that is Samudra Gupta. Who is the author of Panchtantra collection of fables? So options are Skandgupta, Ved Shastri, Vishnu Gupta, or Vishnu Sharma. If you have read Panchtantra in your childhood, I hope you got this answer. Try to answer this one. And you got this one right. The answer is Vishnu Sharma. Vishnu Sharma, author of Panchtantra. Panchtantra referred to ancient Indian collection of interrelated animal fables and was originally written in Sanskrit language. It was written around 200 BCE and is one of the oldest surviving texts. The book is called Niti Shastra, which means book that impart wisdom on the correct conduct in life. So do remember the name Vishnu Sharma. Under which dynasty the rulers brought their achievements in Prashasti? So options are Rajput dynasty, or Gupta dynasty, Mughal dynasty, or Khilji dynasty or Khalji dynasty. So try to answer this one. Under which dynasty the ruler wrought their achievement in Prashasti? So take your time. The answer is Gupta dynasty. So we talked about this one when we are talking about Samudra. So let me remind you once again. So under Gupta dynasty, the ruler wrought their achievement in Prashasti. An example of Prashasti is a Sanskrit poem written by Harishen in praise of King Samudragupta. This poem was composed around 4th century CE and is inscribed on the Ashokan pillar in Prayagraj. That is also known as Prayag Prashasti. So that pillar was created by Ashok. So it particular has the name of three kings. One, firstly Ashok, then Samudragupta, and the third king who engraved his name on this pillar was Jahangir later on during the Mughal era. Which of the following kings of Gupta Empire was also a good Veena player? So this is a quite simple question. So try to answer this one. Answer is Samudra Gupta. Samudragupta of Gupta dynasty is known as Napoleon of India. He took the title Kaviraj, Ashwamedh Prakrama, and Param Bhagwat. He was also brilliant Veena player and inscribed himself playing Veena on his coins. That is why he was known as Kaviraj. And he was also known as Lichavi Dohitra, as his mother was the from the leniency of Lichavis. So he called himself Lichavi Dohitra. So remember the name Samudragupta, also known as Napoleon of India. Which period has been described as the golden age of Indian history? Options: Magad, Mughal, Maurya, or Gupta. Try to answer. And the answer is Gupta period. So Gupta period has been described as the golden age of Indian history. Prosperity of Gupta Empire produced golden age of cultural and scientific advancement. Gupta Empire, founded by Srigupta, was an ancient and Indian realm that covered much of the Indian subcontinent from 319 to 550 CE. And if we talk more on this, so if someone asks you that what is the which period was known as the golden age of architecture in India, so that was the time of Shah Jahan in Mughal period. And if we talk about the golden age of Indian history, so that is Gupta period, and especially during the time of Chandragupta II. Nalanda University, widely recognized one of the ancient world's great universities, important Buddhist center of academic excellence. Which Indian ruler founded it? Options: Harshvardhan, Chandragupta Maurya, Kumar Gupta first, or Ashok. So try to answer. Okay, the answer of this question is Kumar Gupta first. So, Nalanda University is considered as an important center among the great ancient universities of the world. It was established in the Nalanda district of Bihar state by the ruler of Gupta dynasty, Kumar Gupta. At the time of Huenzang, the vice chancellor of Nalanda University was Shilbhadra. Nalanda University was destroyed in 1193 AD by Turkish general Bakhtiyar Khilji. He was the slave of Muhammad Ghori. So remember the name Kumar Gupta first. He was the founder of Nalanda University, and later on, another university was founded by one of the Pala rulers. That was Vikramshila University. That is also in Bihar. And apart from that, Takshashila is the oldest university in the world. Bhukti, Bhoga, Visya, Vithi, and Mandal were. So these are some of the particular things. So try to figure out that what are these. Administrative division in Gupta period, great saints of the modern period, rituals in Ashwamedh Yagna, ministers in Chandragupta Darbar. So try to answer me this question, guys. And I hope you got this one right. The answer of this question is administrative division in the Gupta period. So in Gupta period, there were various names of empire: Rajya, Rashtra, Desha, Mandala, Prithvi, Avani. Empire was divided into province called as Bhukti, Bhoga, Pradesh, province, further divided into Vishyas, uh, came under the control of person called Vishya, Patis. Vishya further divided into Nagars, Nagars were divided into villages. Vithi was the part of Vishya, a group or collection of villages called Pithaka and Santaka. Smaller units of a village called were Agrahara and Pata. So remember that administrative division in the Gupta period. Let's summarize what we have learned, guys. So first, Emperor Ashok. Ashok is known as for engraving edicts on stone pillars to guide his subjects. He was the last notable ruler of Mauryan dynasty, with Brihadrath being recognized as a final emperor. Patliputra was the capital of Mauryan Empire. The dynasty ended with Shung dynasty. Banbhat was the court poet of Harshvardhan. Kanishk belonged to Kushan dynasty, known for his patronage of Buddhism. Wenzhang, Chinese traveler, visited India during Harshvardhan's reign and studied at Nalanda. Panchtantra, famous collection of fables, was authored by Vishnu Sharma. Gupta period is often referred to as golden age of Indian history, marked by advancement in art and sciences. Ashok appointed land surveyor called Amatyas to manage land records. Various administrative divisions like Bhukti, Visaya were prominent during the Gupta period. Gupta dynasty rulers recorded their achievements through Prashasti. Nalanda University was founded during the Gupta period, recognized as the major center of Buddhist education. The Sak era began in 78 AD. The Kushan Empire expanded in the 1st century BC. And that's it in this session, guys. I hope you gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of things are added into your notes. And this particular session has helped you in your questions and will help you in your upcoming exams. So I will meet you in the next session. And till then, bye bye. Take care, everyone, and see you soon.